Not only has our beloved brotherhood influencer space called the Manosphere gone mainstream, but now the Zeitgeist control machine is doing hit pieces on us. You are watching the Showcast. Folks, CNN did a hit piece on spies. Apparently now, Redpill Manosphere influencers are now being spied upon by, mid-tier. It doesn't matter. You can say attractive or whatever, but now they're being infiltrated by spies, female spies. And then these women are running to the Zeitgeist control machine and, to report on intel of how insecure and effeminate and toxically masculine the Manosphere guys are. Wow. This is a new one. This is a new one for me. The Zeitgeist control machine, the Matrix, or the Agent Smiths, are sending spies to date Manosphere men or who either are influencers or who follow us, the Manosphere. Wow. This is yikes. However, it's not really effective. I mean, it may be as effective to the untrained eye, the robot mind, maybe. I don't know. But, hey, shout out to Myron. Myron has made some monumental strides in terms of getting mainstream media attention. I mean, he's been over 1 million subs for quite some time. And I've criticized Myron on his rinse, recycle, repeat formula of inviting a bunch of bimbos and then, kicking them out, Frank castling them, and then, having these moments go viral, etc., etc. And I was like, Myron, if you can't find another means to, because this thing is going to get old. And shout out to Myron. He has found a way to rock the Matrix, with his Fed Reacts, or he now calls Myron Gains X YouTube channel, where he talks about, federal cases, he talks about the Agent Smiths, and shout out to him. This is what winners do. They find a way. What kind of like made through some people off is they also featured Jake Shields as one of the Manosphere guys. Now, I kind of understand why they would feature someone like Jake Shields, because they explain it themselves. Jake Shields is associated with Myron Gaines. I mean, Myron Gaines has done like a couple of collabs with Jake Shields. Now, we live in an age where men's only spaces, or some may call them man caves, are not allowed to exist. And amongst the ones that do exist, they call them toxic masculinity spaces, such as, the UFC. Us guys, we love, these extreme physical endeavors, like boxing, WWE wrestling, rugby, or the NFL. I'm not an NFL fan. I'm not American. I'm South African. Here rugby is big. But if you're an American watching this, obviously NFL. And even those sporting codes has been infiltrated by feminist agendas. These NWO agendas by the Agent Smiths. Oh, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You see a team wearing these little badges, these little breast cancer awareness badges. Or sometimes they flat out wear pink. The Proteas, our national cricket team has done that. And they've been censored. You know, you know how athletes after the game they utter this canned response. Yo, hey, here in South Africa they do it too. You know, super happy. Yo, credit to the other team. It was a tit for tat. You know, they gave a good fight, and even though they beat the other team like 57-0, but it was tit for tat. Again, it's just them being politically correct. Why? Because the kids are watching and you want to set a positive example. Listen, listen. Sports shouldn't be catered for kids. Sports is not for kids. Sports is for grown adult men. But again, you know, these sporting industries have changed. They altered their approach for PG purposes. Remember WWE back in the day, during the Attitude Era? They used to show blood. Brock Lesnar versus Big Show, Undertaker. The Extreme Rules. The WWE superstars used to bleed. Now, what they do is whenever a WWE superstar wrestler catches color, gets color, so code name, that's what they say. They make the screen black and white or gray because it could be very traumatic for the kids that are watching. Oh, give me a break. Said no kid ever. Kids play outside, they get bloody all the time. They play bicycle, they fall, they get a little boo-boo on their knee or their elbow. They see blood. Which kid has ever been traumatized and just scarred for life because they saw blood on a WWE wrestler? Come on. Boys like that. I know I did. But again, it's this effeminization of the next valuable commodity. And that is young teenage, adolescent, young boys. 17 years and younger. That's the demographic they're targeting to be a bunch of soy boys. Because a nation that has a masculine generation of men isn't easy to brainwash, to psyop. Now, this lady, CNN, they reported this as if this was a bad thing. The fact that Jake Shields, they like MMA and UFC. Oh, and they also made it about Trump. You know how Trump enters the UFC and the crowd goes wild. USA, USA. I've seen that multiple times. Yeah, that's a man cave. Us men, we enjoy that. Now, me personally, I'm not so much as a UFC fan as much as I am a boxing fan. But, you know, every man has, you know, pick your poison, right? However, here in South Africa, we have the likes of Dricus du Plessis, who comes from our national tournament called EFC, Extreme Fighting Championships. Now, again, here in South Africa, like marketing, it's not as powerful as the American marketing Zeitgeist control machines. No. If you want to, quote, make it, you have to make it in America. So Dricus du Plessis was fighting here in South Africa in the EFC, but he wasn't globally recognized. It's only up until he was part of he fought in the UFC division. That's when he became the next big thing. He, quote, made it. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, they targeted Jake Shields because, again, who else in the Manosphere, like, does MMA, any of these masculine endeavors, these masculine pursuits? Nobody except for Jake Shields. Even though, again, some of us were confused. We're like, Jake Shields doesn't really talk about Manosphere talking points. He doesn't talk about dating and gender dynamics like that. No, he's more on the political side, you know, free speech. He mostly deals with free speech. He's more on platforming controversial people who were deemed to be, you know, either misogynists or racists, And Jake Shields, no, listen, free speech, okay? He's also like, he's more on the political side, okay, basically. So, folks, this is as if the Andrew Tate arrest wasn't bad enough. Apparently, it's not over. They just said, okay, try again with his case. And also, Candace Owens, I hear, has been subpoenaed with some lawsuit. I can't exactly remember what. I think it has something to do with the Brigitte Macron thingy. And I've seen her talk about some Donald Trump's former ambassador to Israel that goes by the name of David Friedman, calling for the arrest of anti-Semites like Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. I was like, Candace Owens, I understand. Tucker Carlson, really? Tucker Carlson? Tucker Carlson hasn't been JQing, but fine, whatever. This is a time to be afraid. This is a time to be concerned. Because, folks, the pieces are now falling in place. We are now in life-threatening grave danger. Us Redpill, Manosphere influencers, they're really coming after us at this point. They're really coming after us. They are looking to throw Candace Owens in jail. They are looking to throw Russell Brand in jail. They're looking to throw Andrew Tate in Yale. Forever. I'm talking decades. And to make things even more scary, we've heard how Trump ran a campaign saying that how he's going to deport illegal migrants. And hey, to sweeten the deal, we have a work in collaboration with El Salvador. We're going to take these illegal migrants over to the El Salvador maximum security prison. Yeah. Do you like that? Do the American public like that? Yay! Deport them! Deport them! Deport... Yeah. What they didn't tell you is the Trump campaign, the Trump administration, they ran on mass deportations. They didn't tell you they're going to actually focusing more of their efforts on deporting not only illegal migrants, which is less of the concern. They're going to be focusing more, prioritizing those who are deemed to be anti-Semites. US citizens, folks. So what happened? A few weeks ago, I think like a month ago at this point, they arrested Mahmoud Khalil for just merely engaging in a peaceful protest outside of Columbia University. And now they're just capturing people, these Middle Eastern students, foreign exchange students, right? Who some of them even wrote articles, not insinuating any danger, not calling for any violence. No, they just criticized and just reporting that, hey, listen, what's going on in Israel, Gaza is a genocide. It's an apartheid state, even though I don't like them using that word. That's our word, South Africans, okay? That's our word. Anyway, they're softening you up to the idea. And disappointingly enough, these tradcons, like Anthony Brian Logan, ABL, he said, yeah, get him out of here. I'm like, wow, ABL. I can't even stand to listen to ABL at this point. I can't stand to listen to any of these boomers, tradcon influencers, because their intellect only goes up to a certain level, and then it stagnates. Okay, it gets arrested at that point. Arrested development. It doesn't go further than that. You can say ABL knows what the deal is. It doesn't matter whether he knows it or he doesn't know. The fact of the matter is he knows. Him having the platform of his magnitude, a little over 1 million subs, he doesn't like get demonetized. He doesn't want to get put on some hit list of some NGO, some Ukraine NGO hit list. No, they want to play it safe. This is why we don't they don't have they're not going to get as much respect as much as Myron, as much as those who are JQing. Amongst those who have received anti-Semites of the either anti-Semites of the war or anti-Semites of the year award, or been nominated to be anti-Semites of the month or whatever, like Candace Owens, Dan Bilzerian, Hodge twins. Surprisingly, I was surprised by the Hodge twins, but hey, congratulations, German. I never thought. Oh, however, I like to I like to toot my own horn here. Pause. In 2023, I did a video on Rumble. I just recently posted on YouTube as well. For obvious reasons, I couldn't post it on YouTube back then. It goes by like this: MrShowTym calls out controlled opposition. Okay, and I included Candace Owens, I included the Hodge twins, I included Andrew Tate. Something tells me that they saw that video because that's my most viewed Rumble video ever. And after that, now every content creator is JQing. I'm not saying I can't prove for a fact that they definitely saw it. I can't, I don't know. But it is kind of like suspect. I'm like, what are the odds? Now no, look, I'm not the only one. There's bigger platforms that, have more gravitas than I do. I still have less than 1,000 subs. But you never know who's watching. I'm just saying, if you think my influence in this space is minuscule just because of the size of my channel, you're mistaken. Okay?
This is not about somebody wanting to put on pantyhose and have their sexual organs changed. It's about shocking our children. A lot of these groups are pedophiles, let's face it. They want to talk about sex with your kids. And in the name of tolerance, they're going to put your kids on Ritalin and Prozac, they're going to inject them with deadly vaccines full of cancer viruses, and they're going to really screw them up.
While other networks lie to you about what's happening now, InfoWars tells you the truth about what's happening next. Visit Infowars.com/show and share the link today.
This is how I show my love. I'm made it in my mind because
First of all, do not come to our country illegally. You will be removed and you will be prosecuted. But know that this facility is one of the tools in our toolkit that we will use if you commit crimes against the American people.
Now, here's what scares me. I think we're coming to a time, we're edging closer and closer to a time where they're looking to disappear all these popular influencers, these dissenting voices, your Candace Owens, your Russell Brand. He just recently got charged officially. The Tate brothers, they're facing like around 10 years. Now, I fear for Candace Owens because now in America, who's to say that? I mean, they've already deported a U.S. citizen and they sent him over to El Salvador. Now, of course, the Zeitgeist control machine, the Agent Smith, they're going to try and play it off as, oops, my oopsie. Sometimes they can even flat out just do it on purpose. Of course, they're going to do it on purpose. They're looking to do it on purpose. Now, by law, you can't deport a U.S. citizen, even if they committed crimes. But since El Salvador is a third world country, they have a lesser sophisticated judicial system. Who's to say that they're just not gonna? They might take, your Candace Owens of the world, God forbid, and they might throw her in El Salvador.
Where are all of those free speech people who grifted off of free speech and who won't say anything, and recognizing that this administration, this current administration, is taking a turn that is quite dark, okay? It is not what we signed up for. We are supposed to be the people who defend speech. So why is it now I'm finding myself in agreement with Anna Kasparian and Cenk over at the Young Turks, who are calling out what is happening and how suddenly there is this squeeze on speech only as it pertains to the special topic of Israel. Take a listen to what Anna had to say on the Young Turks.
David Friedman, who actually was Trump's ambassador to Israel in his first term, he doesn't just stop at progressives and their critique of Israel. He's also focusing on the right wing as well. And I suspect that this is waking the right wing up.
Yeah, this is not going to play well.
Because if you think that free speech violations are only going to impact the left, you'd be mistaken. Take a look.
I condemn anti-Semitism on the right and on the left. I'm an equal opportunity condemner of anti-Semitism.
You're alluding to Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, none of them are any good on the right. On the left, I don't like any of these anti-Semites, and I'm not shy about it. There's no reason to think we're ever going to convince them, but we can deport them, we can put them in jail, we can make their lives miserable, we can cut off their funding, and that's what the Trump administration is doing for the first time.
Okay. Now understand what he considers anti-Semitism. And by the way, you're an American citizen. If you are spewing anti-Semitic garbage, you're actually free to do that as long as you don't act on it, right? Free speech is a thing. Hate speech is protected under the First Amendment. This guy thinks that simply criticizing how Israel is prosecuting the war is already anti-Semitic. It's already anti-Semitism. And he wants to throw you in prison for it.
Yeah.
In prison for it.
And by the way, that was an answer to a question about Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. So we're not talking about student visas anymore.
Oh my God.
Now we're talking about core American podcasters, people in media on the right and the left. If you criticize Israel, he says, well, you have no heart and you have no mind. You have no heart because of course you should know when Israel slaughtered 15,000 children, it was the most moral thing to do. And if you dare disagree, we'll arrest you. And what did he say? Oh, we'll cut off your funding. By the way, he's like, it's anti-Semitic to say that the Jews would control speech in America. But if you dare cross Israel, we will cut off your funding, we will deport you, we will arrest you. But don't say it. If you say it, what I just said, I'm gonna call you an anti-Semite.
No, maybe I'll throw you in prison.
Okay, they're saying, well, we start with the left, but we're equal opportunity condemners.
Yeah.
So Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and everyone else, you start slightly criticizing Israel. We got a jail in Louisiana and then one in El Salvador that Israel can send you to via the US government.
It's insane, okay? It is insane. Time for Americans to wake up to what is happening, okay? Because our freedoms will be taken away very quickly. And yes, it is happening under this administration, okay? 1000% Trump is being surrounded by ultra-Zionists who are getting him to take stances that are running counter to freedom. And those of us that are calling it, I don't care. I really don't care what you call me. I don't have to survive a Trump administration. My kids have to be able to grow up in a free country. I just can't. I will not tolerate it, whether it's happening on the left or the right.
And then legally, if you try to challenge it legally, they say, oh, you're looking for Candace Owens? Oh, you think Candace Owens is over in El Salvador? Well, let us go check. Let us check the registration of inmates. Oh, sorry, we can't find the name, sorry. I don't know what you're talking about. And you're like, no, we know she's there. We don't say anything yet. Why? Because the system is less sophisticated. They can afford to act a fool. I hope that's not the case, but don't be surprised if it is. If it will be. Don't be surprised. As for Russell Brand, I don't see these guys coming out on the other side unscathed. I don't see Russell Brand coming out on the other side of these allegations unscathed and say, oh, proven to be false, innocent. Let's move on with my life and carry on challenging the Agent Smiths. Nah. Even Andrew Tate made it clear. Once it begins, it never ends. Even the Tate brothers, they just survived their prosecution, and they said, oh, okay, not enough evidence, okay, but oh, wait, we can try again. They can just simply repeat, repeat this cycle all over again, and God knows how long they're gonna because they're hoping that they do it long enough, delay the case for the Tate brothers to crack. Like they said, they want the Tate brothers to apologize and to crack. They want them to say, oh, please stop. Make it stop. Make the pain go away. Please. That's what they want. And then they can say, oh, see? Are these your false idols of which you worship? See? The system works after all. we were able to make them crack. Folks, if you enter the space and you think you're just gonna be famous and I'm gonna be, drop some red pills and I'm gonna be, no, it's not a game. You enter the space, like Morpheus said, once you enter, there's no turning back. And guess what? If they disappear, a lot of these popular influencers, right, these notable ones, from the Redpill Manosphere or from the political realm, I might be the last one standing. I might be one of the few ones left. Now, kudos to me. I'm safe. I'm all the way here in South Africa, so I've got zilch to do with the American judicial justice system. I'm not in the jurisdiction. But then again, who says that you have to be within the American jurisdiction to succumb to a matrix attack? Certain things have already happened to me. Kanye West, look, they keep, again, the more and more they keep insinuating that Kanye West is crazy. They may try to institutionalize him again, and for permanently this time. Especially when he came out with his, I like to call it his Batman suit, with this interview with DJ Academics. Big ack in them. Big ack. Yeah, the Agent Smiths are not gonna let that slide. They will never forgive what Candace Owens said, exposed. They will never forgive Kanye West. They will never forgive, the endeavors of Andrew Tate, Russell Brand. They will never forgive that. They're going to make us disappear in some shape or form. And at this point, with the Zeitgeist control machine on the attack, on the offense, yeah, what's scary is there's not much we can do about it. You can't avoid prosecution. You can't avoid being subpoenaed and being called into, the kangaroo courts. What? And if you try to flee to some third world country, they're gonna call you a coward. Either way, whatever jurisdiction you're in, they're gonna get you in some. They have 6 ways to Sunday to get you. If it's not the American justice system that gets you, it's your whatever country that you operate. They can make calls and say, "Hey, listen, you have a guest that goes by the name of so and so. Be sure to show them some love." And they're like, "Oh, okay, we'll show them some love." Click, and then you come up missing. Alex Jones himself, one of his employees was, taken out in cold blood because he was under the Ukrainian NGO hit list. It's scary. Frightening. The Trump administration, they're in. And now, they have a leech, a monkey on their back that is doing all the control for them. And since now, the Agent Smiths they're the ones that are running the country. They're the ones running, America. Now they're looking to swat aside any opposition. Okay? The dystopian future that we see in movies. I, Robot, I Am Legend, Total Recall, Demolition Man. It's gonna become a reality. And we, the Red Pill, we believe that we can alter our future. We can alter our fate and change our destiny. And right now, it is looking rather dark. So yeah, that's all I have to say for now. The Zeitgeist control machine is doing hit pieces on us. Not good. And to all these guys, Kanye West, Candace Owens, Russell Brand, Andrew Tate, Alex Jones, stay strong, guys. And stay alive. Okay? If you're watching this far, thank you so much for watching. And remember, the Matrix has you. Follow the white rabbit. Don't fall for the psyops. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers.